It is a glorious day in May today. I am simply besotted with the garden already. I'll do a proper tour in another video. So in this one, I'll be unboxing some new plants, including a plant I've been waiting to get my hands on for a while. Stick around until the end to get a look at it. Receiving new plants is so joyous, isn't it? The promise that waits behind this cardboard. Let's have a look. These are very well packaged. It's always a sign of good things. Good sizes as well. These are from an eBay seller. I'll put his details on the screen shortly. I'll get these opened and tell you what it is that I've got. Okay, so here they are out of the box. Huge thanks to the seller for including these helpful little labels here. So what I have is 3 hardy perennials, all of which should come back year on year if grown in the right conditions. We've got Salvia hot lips, first of all. I've always liked these. I'm not sure whether or not this is the pink or the purple flowering variety, but they do look tropical when they flower out. I've always loved the way that these look, the flowers that do look like little sets of lips, hence the name. I'll show you some examples of established plants on the screen, so that will bring some lovely colour. They smell great. I love the fragrance of salvia. They can grow quite bushy. I don't have a lot of room for bushy plants in my borders at the moment, so they're going to end up in this pot. I think I'll give it a clean up and get it sat on the patio. I've also got here a Melianthus major, and if you've seen my garden tours from last year, you'll know that I had a very large specimen of this. I'll show you where it was. So my large Melianthus major was over here. I say was, as it doesn't appear to have come back following the winter. So it was cut down there. Can you see that thick woody stem? That was actually the Melianthus major from last year. I'm not seeing anything coming back from the base, so I don't know whether or not this has been cut right down irretrievably. So in case it has, I've decided to get a replacement for it, which I'll plant nearby. So the Melianthus, it was planted at the back of the border, but it reached forward for the sun. So in photos and videos from last year, it sort of filled this area here next to the busia. So I think I'll plant some near that area because I really liked how it looked. So the Melianthus major we'll plant around here. Got some Rudbeckia. Now this one is called the Lasianata Herbston variety. It's yellow flowering. It's those cone flowers. They look like daisies and they look beautiful in a tropical planting scheme. Now this particular variety is late flowering, which should flower right through until autumn, so it would be nice to get that bright burst of yellow in the borders. I'm aware that it can grow quite tall in the right conditions, so I think I'll plant this near the back of a border. Now the Rudbeckia wants a sheltered but sunny spot, so I recently moved a lot of clematis from down there. It just wasn't giving me the effect that I wanted up that trellis, so I think for this year we'll get some Rudbeckia growing just in front of it. Be careful where I step now. I think just here would look nice to have a bit of colour there at the back of the border, just underneath the bean tree that's just starting to come into leaf now. So I'll get that planted behind there, I think. So unfortunately I'm filming this part of the video on a day when the rain has started to come down. However, this is the best time for me to get this done, and I wanted to share this with you. Now, this has come from Krug Farm Plants. It's my first time buying from them, and I've got to say what a wonderful experience I had dealing with them. Their customer service is great, their packaging is lovely, looks like a little house. And I can't wait to show you what's inside. Welcoming to Tropical Lord's garden, the Schefflera Macrophylla. Let's get the plastic off. A beautiful medium there. Now, I've simply fallen in love with Scheffleras. Having grown this beautiful Schefflera Taiwaniana now for about 2.5 years or so, I was really intrigued to know a little bit more about what other varieties are out there. Really, this Schefflera is something of a centerpiece. It demands space and it demands attention. It grows on really long petioles and can be grown as a small tree or a shrub. Now, I'm likely to keep this in a container, particularly as it's not as frost hardy as some of the other varieties. I may well put this in a container that comes inside during the winter months. Now, the canopy on this may get quite wide. It needs to be in a sheltered spot as well. It likes full sun, but ideally it needs to be near a wall or fence of some sort, so I'll have to give some diligent thought as to where I'm going to place this. But as always, I get the plant and worry about where it's going to go later. It already looks great here alongside some other tropical style foliage on my patio. Need to get this jet washed soon. But yes, I'm very excited about this one. Grateful to have got my hands on one, and really thankful to the staff at Krug Farm Plants, again, whose customer service has been pretty much second to none. It makes a big difference to gardeners, especially novice gardeners like myself, when you've got knowledgeable people on the other side of the phone who are willing to give some advice and guidance on new plants. So thank you again, Krug Farm Plants. I will be back, all being well. But yeah, Schefflera Macrophylla or Macrophylla, welcome to Tropical Lord's garden. Now, on the subject of Scheffleras, while we're here, this is my Alpina, which I've recently transplanted from a pot into the ground, and I've got to say, it doesn't look happy at all. The leaves are browning, drooping down. That one at the bottom has browned right off. That's bone meal I've got around the base, thinking perhaps to feed the soil, which actually has already been fed. So I'm not sure what this one needs. So if you're out there and you've got a Schefflera Alpina and you've got any idea as to why my leaves will be browning off like this, please do let me know. I'm very tempted to take it out of the ground and to put it into a pot and to give it some real TLC and nurse it perhaps even inside. But if you're out there and you've got one and you've seen this happen and know how to nurse it back to health, I'd love to hear from you.